In a small corner of Israel, a widow's heart was heavy with despair. Her husband, once a faithful servant of God, had died, leaving behind only debts. The cruel creditors came knocking, demanding payment she could not provide. In desperation, they threatened to take her 2 sons as slaves. Imagine her fear, her helplessness, her prayers whispered in the dark. With nothing left but hope, she turned to the prophet Elisha. Little did she know, what seemed like her end would become the beginning of one of the most extraordinary miracles of provision in the Bible.
Elisha looked into her eyes and asked a simple question. What do you have in your house? She lowered her head, ashamed at the emptiness surrounding her. Nothing, except the small jar of oil, she whispered. To her, it was insignificant, barely enough for a meal. But in God's hands, the smallest offering becomes the seed for abundance. Elisha told her to borrow jars, many jars, from her neighbors. Not just a few, every vessel she could find. The widow and her sons hurried through the streets, gathering containers, their neighbors watching with puzzled faces, unaware of the miracle about to unfold. Inside her home, with the door shut as Elisha instructed, the widow clutched her tiny jar of oil. She poured carefully into the first jar, expecting it to empty, but the oil kept flowing. Another jar filled, and another. Her sons ran, bringing vessel after vessel, eyes wide with amazement as the oil never stopped. The widow's tears of despair turned into tears of joy as her house filled with jars, each brimming with golden oil. The sound of pouring echoed like music, a rhythm of provision, until at last every jar stood filled, and the flow finally ceased. Breathless, the widow rushed back to Elisha. He smiled and told her, "Go, sell the oil, pay your debts, and you and your sons live on the rest." What began as fear ended in freedom. What began as nothing became more than enough. This story isn't just about oil. It's about God's limitless supply. When life feels empty, He can overflow it. When hope seems gone, He can fill it again. Just like the widow, we are reminded, no matter how little we have, when placed in God's hands, it becomes more than we could ever imagine.